The ploy that Modi is enough is not working. And incidentally, no one spoke of Mandir on their own. Karnataka, Maharashtra, Bihar and Bengal. All these are states where I thought the big number of seats can change hands. 18 in 2019 was a very big score for BJP, yes. Unprecedented.
That was the peak of BJP in Bengal.
We thought it was peak. And after that, in assembly election, BJP had come down. This election is changing, and changing in a way that can have very deep consequences.
Hello and welcome to eedina.com. It is always very special to speak to Professor Yogendra Yadav, not just because he is a political scientist and a psephologist, but he has been extensively traveling all around the country. And as he puts it, earlier he used to predict the future, but now he is trying to change the future. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the joining.
Thank you. It's always so special to come back to Karnataka and to look at this environment, these trees. It's so special, this part of the country. Yeah.
Yes, sir. But not just Karnataka. You are touring different states and have been writing also about the election. If I remember 3 months back, you said that the real battleground is the 4 states, West Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra and Karnataka. So now you are in this 4th battleground. And what do you think now, that where is the real battleground and where the election is going?
Dr. Vasu, this is the big thing about this election now is something is changing. As we say in Hindi, chunav karwat le raha hai. You know, when you turn sides on the bed, that's karwat. This election is changing, and changing in a way that can have very deep consequences. As you rightly said, when the election began, I said, look, in principle, it is possible to bring BJP below the majority mark. And I said,
but N.D.I.A may still form the government.
N.D.I.A may still form the government, even BJP may still form the government, because I said it depends on 4 battleground states where things can change. Karnataka, Maharashtra, Bihar and Bengal. All these are states where I thought big number of seats can change hands.
Except this, in other states, BJP, where it has not won big, it will not win again. And in other states, it is saturated. That was the assessment.
Exactly. So there was the other domain where I thought BJP can make tiny gains, but no big gains. So the challenge for the opposition was to ensure that BJP does not make big gains in coastal belt from Odisha till Kerala. And in the remaining areas which BJP used to sweep from Gujarat to UP, the challenge is to nibble away, take tiny 1 seat here, 2 seats there. This was my understanding. This is what I thought should be the strategy of the opposition. How does it look now that we are almost in the middle of the election? The places where BJP needed to be prevented from making big gains, that has happened. From Odisha till Kerala, BJP doesn't seem to be making big gains anywhere. Even if you take the most optimistic scenario from BJP's point of view, 1 seat in Kerala, 2 seats in Tamil Nadu, maybe 1 gift seat in Andhra Pradesh, and 3-4 additional seats in Odisha. All this adds up to 10 seats. So BJP's gains over and above 2009 in these coastal belt states cannot possibly exceed 10. So that has been achieved. In the battleground states, things have changed. I have struck off Bengal from the battleground list. I had initially hoped that there can be a big dent can be made to BJP, because 18 in 2019 was a very big score for BJP, yes. Unprecedented.
That was the peak of BJP in Bengal.
We thought it was peak. And after that, in assembly election, BJP had come down. Correct. And I thought if they get 8 to 10 seats, that would be, very good for BJP.
And in typical Bengal style, opposition will be wiped off after one party comes to power.
Exactly. And because, leaders were leaving BJP and so on. But the recent reports in the last 2-3 months suggest that BJP has staged some recovery. Although BJP's recovery in Bengal always needs to be seen with a pinch of salt, because there is so much of propaganda that goes on all the time. But it seems BJP may have made a recovery. So
And it may hold on to what it got in 2009.
So BJP holding on to 18 will be a very big achievement for BJP, because they actually got down to 8 or 10. They may be able to do so. So let us for the time being say that they may have managed to 8. So BJP, so West Bengal is out from my list of battleground states where 5-10 seats could have changed hands. In the remaining, Karnataka is turning out to be better than I had expected. I know you have been saying that no, BJP, Congress could get even up to 18 seats. But when I hear these things, I sort of normally do a discount in my understanding. So I was normally thinking maybe about 8 seats. If BJP loses about 8 seats, that's a 8 to 10. But from what we have heard in the first phase, your surveys, and the latest scandal, we could now look at a loss of up to 15 seats. But I'm a conservative person. Let me put it still at 10.
Yep.
So in other words, Karnataka alone can wipe out all the gains that BJP may make in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Telangana. All of them put together is done by Karnataka. Thank you very much. My regards to people of Karnataka. That's done. Look at other states. Maharashtra. Maharashtra is tough still, and but remember, BJP and its then allies had 41 out of 48 seats.
Yeah, the undivided Shiv Sena and BJP.
BJP had 41. Even the
41
most
out of 48.
48, yeah.
Okay.
Even the most optimist scenario on the part of NDA will say today they will get 30. The supporters of, the critics of BJP will say, no, they'll get 20. But let's say 30. Please remember, BJP itself is contesting many more seats than it did last time. So, even if this gets stuck at, let's say, something like 28, that's a loss of 13 seats for NDA. BJP's losses would be minimal here. Most of the losses will be BJP's allies, the Shinde Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP, both of which have really no credibility among the people. BJP is still strong, we should not discount. So that battleground state has remained a battleground state. Bihar. Bihar, after Nitish switched sides, equations were turned, and initially there was a talk of NDA getting something like 30 plus 35 seats.
Was it there? Because Nitish Kumar, because of his frequent switchovers, the credibility...
Sure, Nitish has lost credibility. But even then, you know, when such a big partner shifts sides, I mean, after all, the BJP took him, they must have done some calculations. So, while my friends kept saying that, all right, it's good riddance, Gaya, we will gain. But, you know, I do hard calculations, and the fact is that Nitish is leaving meant some damage. So, initially there was a talk of NDA getting something like 35 seats, etc. But I must say, Tejasvi Yadav has worked really hard. He has a genuine people's connect, and he has managed to convince the people of Bihar that that it was he who got jobs to the youth of Bihar, which is actually a correct story, but he's also managed to communicate it very well.
So this was when he was in alliance with Nitish Kumar.
That's right. In the alliance, he was Deputy Chief Minister, but he has ensured that people remember every achievement of that period as his achievement, not that of Nitish Kumar. So currently, we should be looking at a score below 30 for NDA. Remember, they had 39 out of 40 seats. So they can only lose. That's about 10 more seats off from. Once again, BJP's losses would be small, allies' losses would be big, and the point you make comes relevant here. Most of the losses will be JDU's losses because they've got 16 seats which they don't deserve, so that will be losses. So these are 3 battleground states. But I have now added 2 more to the list, which I had not originally put. Originally, I had thought of the entire Hindi belt plus Gujarat as places, kahin se ek seat nikal aaye to acha hai, 2 seat nikal aaye to acha hai.
In fact, I also remember you saying that in UP, BJP may get additional seats
that
beyond 62.
That was the initial sense that we got from surveys, that BJP was on a surge. These surveys were reporting 70 plus seats for BJP, which is not impossible, you know, once you, if your vote share is going up, then you can get 70, what's the thing?
So BJP had won 72 seats probably in 2014.
Yeah, that's right. With LI, they had. So that's not impossible. So in fact, some people were speaking of 74, and some were, of course, claiming 80 out of 80. All this was happening. I've personally traveled. You know, I like to travel. Unless I see things with my own eyes, I'm still
Yeah, I do remember that even after eedina survey in 2023.
Yeah,
you went to different districts where actually BJP is having some ground. You went there personally, and you came back and said that this is going to be the exact.
Yeah, I'm an
picture.
old style doctor. Unless I actually see the, only based on reports, I never decide. Unless I see it, I hear it. Even when I was hearing it in translation in Kannada, I could see the person's face, I could see their dress, I could see how they were talking. That gives you a sense of what's happening. So I've traveled in Rajasthan, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. And that's the big news. Rajasthan, I've certainly added now to the battleground states. The BJP
when you are saying battleground, where BJP can lose more than 10 seats.
The battleground states are states where big changes can take place, which can affect the overall national outcome. Rajasthan is definitely in it now. BJP won 25 out of 25 in 2014. They had one LI in 2019, 25 out of 25 there. No way it is going to happen. As they say in Hindi, likh ke le lo mere se. This is not going to happen.
Is it also because people feel that they punished Ashok Gehlot, who actually deserved a comeback?
Strange things are happening. You know, while I know what's happening, I don't fully understand why it's happening. People spoke in very fond terms of Ashok Gehlot. I said, "Yeah, abhi to aapne use haraya." You've just, you know, usually people don't think well of a person who's just been kicked out. It's like speaking nice things about Bombay. You know, no one does that.
Yeah.
But in Rajasthan, they spoke such lovely things about Ashok Gehlot, having defeated him. And also the caste equation of Rajasthan, plus the fact that BJP has been so arrogant and their ticket distribution is so bad. And no one knows who the current Chief Minister of Rajasthan is. He's a complete non-entity. People call him Parchi wala CM.
Yeah, that is true even for this central cabinet.
That's right.
Earlier, we used to remember at least 25 ministers with their portfolios. Now we don't remember. We came to know about a railway minister, only a big railway accident happened.
That's right. So in Rajasthan, they call him Parchi wala Chief Minister because his name came in a Parchi.
Okay.
And no one knew who would be the Chief Minister. They read out Bhajan Lal Sharma and then they searched, where is that fellow? You know, that's what happened. So in Rajasthan, so it's a reverse of Karnataka. Rajasthan first phase was very heavily against the BJP. Second phase was slightly more favorable to the BJP. In Karnataka, it may be the other way around. First phase was little more favorable. Second is going to be very unfavorable.
Yes.
If you put the belt, which is the Kisan Andolan belt of Rajasthan, running from Ganganagar right to Bharatpur.
That is east of Rajasthan.
East of Rajasthan, touching Haryana and touching Madhya Pradesh, a bit of Madhya Pradesh there, but mostly Haryana. This has been a traditional farmers' movement belt of Rajasthan.
That's a place where even some part of your childhood.
That's right. Yeah, I spent all my childhood. In fact, till 18, I studied there in a small town called Sri Ganganagar. So from Ganganagar till Bharatpur, I know that area. I travel. I know people, so I can be reasonably sure of what I'm talking about. That place is definitely going against the BJP. There's almost a wave against the BJP in that belt. So all in all, while people talk of 12, 15 seats, people speak of equal split. I would be conservative and say something around 10, maybe a little less than 10. But BJP is losing definitely. Add to it Haryana, small state, but BJP has 10 out of 10.
Yes.
At least 4 seats. My colleague Deepak Lamba will again say no 6, but I'll say 3, 4 seats they are losing. So let's again be conservative and say Rajasthan and Haryana put together, definitely 10 seats are off from BJP. In Haryana, currently the reports are that farmers are not allowing BJP candidates to enter the village. They are saying, you called us Atankvadi. Why do you want votes from Atankvadi? Go out. This is happening in Bhiwani, this is happening in Hisar, this is happening in Sirsa. So something is happening in Haryana. And
but I've heard people saying that these are Jat Kisans, and the social equation there is when Jats rise like this, the other castes consolidate towards BJP, and that is what BJP is trying to do.
That is BJP's game. It is true that a substantial portion of these who are courageous enough to oppose people in the village, candidates in the village, are most of them would be Jats. But if you see the overall mood now in Haryana, Dalits are coming back to Congress. Dalit and Jat would be such a formidable combination in Haryana. And fortunately, Congress's ticket selection has not been very bad. In Rajasthan too, their ticket selection in Lok Sabha is better than their ticket selection in Vidhan Sabha. Vidhan Sabha was disastrous ticket
Probably
selection.
that was one of the
primary
reasons why they lost.
Yeah. So that's another. So conservative, let's put Haryana and Rajasthan together, at least 10 seats off there. And then let us come to Uttar Pradesh, the big thing. As I said, we started with a sense that BJP is sure to retain 64, and BJP walas were saying, whatever we lose elsewhere, we'll make it up in UP, 10 more seats in UP, sab kuch chala. I travelled, Dr. Vasu, I travelled twice. Once in the western UP, Meerut to Saharanpur, the belt adjoining Haryana, and there's a Kisan belt of, and the Jat belt of Uttar Pradesh, after Jayant had shifted. And then to be doubly sure, I travelled from Lucknow to Banaras.
Okay.
Via
central UP.
Central to east.
Okay.
Banaras is the capital of East UP, and Lucknow is the center. So Awadh to Purvanchal, that bit. I must say, I did not travel to Bundelkhand, which is small but very different. Did not go to the far east.
That is that part which actually enters Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, enters Madhya Pradesh. That's very different, but there are only 4 seats there, and 5 seats. And I did not go to the far east, which touches Bihar. And I did not waste my time in the big cities. I find it a complete waste of time to travel in those places. So it's with these limitations, one thing is absolutely sure. BJP's vote share is coming down. Simple observation was this. We spoke to hundreds of people, as we did in Karnataka, ordinary people. Never speak to a journalist, never speak to an intelligent political activist, never speak to a political leader. Just speak to very ordinary people who may not even remember who the Prime Minister of the country is. Those are the people you should speak to.
That's your way of cross-checking what other reports are saying.
That's right. That's a cross-check of this. So, in Uttar Pradesh, we did not meet one person. In fact, we met one out of these hundreds of people who said, I did not vote for BJP last time in the assembly election or in the parliamentary election, but I'm going to vote for them now. If BJP is to increase from 62 to 70 and 80, their vote share should go up by at least 3, 4, 5 points. Not, as I said, just one person who was sightless. It's a peculiarly tragic story, but that's a different matter. Just one person out of hundreds of cases.
Okay.
Not one person who said, I voted for Congress and Samajwadi Party last time and will not vote for them this time.
Okay.
And so that BSP, many BSP voters were reluctant to identify themselves as BSP voters. Part fear, part awkwardness, because BSP is going down. So the level of confidence of BSP voter has come down a bit.
Naturally,
so maybe they were hidden BSP voters who may have identified themselves as SP or whatever voters, so we don't know. Only a slight decline in BSP voter, but the decline is not going to BJP. Congress's being there makes it easy for a BSP voter to come and vote for them. Samajwadi Party is very hard for them to turn to. But Congress.
So you are saying that wherever Congress candidate is there as part of the alliance, their BSP voter will be more willing to.
Yeah, it becomes easy for them to come back rather than to go to an enemy which they had identified Samajwadi Party as.
There's a very bitter history. Is also part of that alliance. Right?
No, not part of the alliance. He's fighting separately and doing reasonably well in his constituency. The big thing is this. Of those who said they had voted for BJP last time, in 2019 or 2022, at least 1 out of 4 persons said, but I'm not going to vote for them this time.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it. So, when I went to the Western UP, I drew very conservative conclusion. I said, okay, at least we know BJP's vote share is not going up. Then we checked it again and realized that no, this is a systematic pattern. Constituency after constituency. And usually in these cases, reserved constituencies are very good. because personality factor is minimal in those constituencies. So you can see neat party effect. We checked all kinds. We went to VIP constituencies like Amethi, Raebareli, complete non-VIP constituencies, strong BJP constituencies, etc. But no, this cuts across. BJP's vote share is going down. The only question is how much and what impact will it have on the number of seats.
I still remember in probably that was 2022 election, right, UP, where many of our friends were saying that Akhilesh Yadav is going to form the government because there is discontent amongst the voters, which was also visible. But you said, yes, the discontent is there, but people will still vote for Yogi. But here also, it is not just discontent that you are saying, but there is a clear-cut vote shift also that is happening.
And you don't need to guess it, Dr. Vasu. The simple thing is to ask them. My technique is simply to ask them mildly, politely, so fir is baar kya? You know, rather than my guessing that he is saying these, you know, that's the problem. In 2022, that's a mistake my friends committed. Do you have price rise? Yes. Unemployment? Yes. The stray animals? Oh, that's a big problem. Then they concluded that he must be voting against the BJP, but that actually did not happen.
No, in Karnataka, we saw this in this election survey also. In the first survey, it was 75% people saying price rise is a serious issue. Second survey, it was 86 to 89%.
That's right.
So, second survey, we introduced a new question, who is responsible for it? Of course, majority people said price rise BJP is responsible, unemployment BJP is responsible, and corruption also BJP is responsible. But when you ask them, will you vote based on this? Then it comes down to 56%. Then when they actually, we ask them, whom do you vote for? Then it comes down even.
You know. So the best thing is to simply ask people. And in India, people tell you, I mean, this is not such a difficult thing. So
difficult in cities, but
cities, yes. But in rural areas, sit down, have a cup of tea with them. They are absolutely quite open to talking about these things. At least, especially in areas where you know the language and the culture, it's easy. So the finding was that 1 out of 4 was saying that they are not going to vote for BJP. That, of course, would be a tsunami if that were to happen.
That is 25% of the votes that BJP had got.
That would mean BJP had 51% votes. So that would mean BJP coming down to some 38% and opposition going up to 45% or so. So that's unrealistic.
Then the result will be totally reversed.
It will be reversed, So I you know, let's not get, I don't get so enthused and so carried away by these things, because you know, more articulate people are meeting us on the street, and more articulate people are, you know, so I keep thinking of a woman who's sitting in her home, 60-year-old, who doesn't even know whether elections have been called so far, etc. So I would say, let's look at half of that. Just slice it by half. It's arbitrary, but let's look at 1/6 or 1/8 vote going away. So even if BJP loses something like 6% votes from 51, it comes down to something like 45.
45 seats out of 80.
45 percent votes. 45, 43, 44% votes. And the opposition comes to 40 plus. So if the difference is...
So when you're saying opposition, it is basically SP Congress alliance.
SP and Congress. There is no other third opposition. SP and Congress. So
but BSP is fielding candidates in every continent.
They are hardly in a winning position except in 1 or 2 places. BSP on its own is not a winning, but they can make others win, which is what happened last time. BSP had 10 seats last time. It would be surprising if they got more than 1 or 2 this time, because they are fighting alone and they know it, and the voters get to know it. Now, if the vote share is, let's say, opposition is 41 and BJP is 43, 44, then the effect on the seats is dramatic, and for various reasons which are technical. If BJP is 2 percentage points ahead of SP Congress, their seat share will be identical.
Almost equal, yes.
Exactly 40-40. Because BJP has lots of wasted votes because they win with huge margins in cities, Banaras and so on. But if BJP is ahead by 4 or 5 percentage points, even then, it is BJP gets only about 50 seats. Again, I would be conservative and say BJP doesn't seem to be crossing 50. That's a very big thing. I had not thought of it. I thought and I said, I used to say, if SP and Congress can contain BJP and allies at 64, that's an achievement. Thank you very much. Don't give us further damages from you. But now
So that
it
means
seems
it is like covering some 4 or 5 medium-sized states.
absolutely, absolutely. And mind you, Dr. Vasu, while I say 10 to 12, between 10 BJP losing 10 seats and BJP losing 20 seats,
It's only
the gap is
0.5%.
only 1.5%. Just 1.5% say everything can be, and no one can judge it, on the field. You need a very high quality thermometer to be able to assess those things, which I don't have. But it can lose 10 seats, it may even lose 20 seats. This is the situation in UP right now. So now let's look at the big picture. I've not touched Gujarat and
No, we'll
Madhya
come to that
Pradesh.
calculation. Those small states, people will be interested to know what in Delhi and Punjab.
Both of them are some distance away. Punjab goes to polls in the last segment. It is Congress and Aam Aadmi Party are fighting against each other, which is not a bad idea. Because
Yeah,
number one
it's
and
like
number
Kerala.
two should not have an alliance with each
Yes.
other. BJP is trying very hard to. BJP holds 2 seats, but those 2 seats, Gurdaspur and Hoshiarpur.
Right.
But those it has got thanks partly to Akali Dal. BJP needs some Sikh votes.
Okay.
The Akalis are fighting separate. It's a 4-way contest in
Aam
Punjab
Aadmi
this time.
Party, Congress,
Akali
Akali Dal and BJP.
And BJP.
Okay.
All 4 are contesting against each other in all the 4 seats. That suits Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. BJP would find it difficult to retain the 2 seats they have because there are substantial Sikh voters there, which may not come to them this time.
So in the previous election, they were in alliance with Akali Dal.
Alliance with Akalis, they got it. So BJP is now focusing on cities, Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Patiala, where they are hoping that the presence of urban is largely Hindu in Punjab. Urban Hindus will get them to victory. Now, we don't know whether that succeeds. So, my own sense still is that it's going to be Aam Aadmi Party versus Congress. That's the main thing, with an advantage to Congress in this particular instance. But we don't know yet. It's still.
Delhi is, people are interested because both in 2014 and 2019, Aam Aadmi Party had won the Vidhan Sabha election with a huge margin around these elections, but not in Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, 7
so
out of
there's
7.
a substantial chunk of voters in Delhi who vote for Aam Aadmi Party in Vidhan Sabha and switch over to BJP in Lok Sabha. The question is, how are they going to behave? I don't have a good answer yet. Yes, I live in Delhi, but actually I have not travelled that much, and unless I travel to bastis and rural areas, just speaking to taxi driver and speaking to this thing is not a good idea. So maybe next time I'll get you a better report, but I'm really, really hoping that Kanhaiya Kumar wins, and he is actually contesting in the most favourable constituency.
Okay.
Because the northeast of Delhi is demographically most favourable for Congress to win this election. So, but
Is it where you live?
I live east, not northeast.
I also remember you saying even Delhi city is like each part is different because each part contains people live from a particular state. So that is also there.
So northeast Delhi is people from UP and Bihar. So Kanhaiya Kumar will not be an outsider there. UP, Bihar is Bhojpuri, and this is the language spoken there. So, and also large Muslim population, large Dalit population. All this makes northeast a situation where they can do well. So at the moment, I'll keep Delhi out of my calculation. Gujarat, while we get lots of reports of rebellion and things happening, I would keep my expectations still very low at 1 or 2 seats because BJP has a certain stranglehold over Gujarat, which is very difficult to lose. While there are serious protests. In Madhya Pradesh, yes, 4 to 5 seats are being contested. My friend this morning told me that even Scindia is in a difficult fight.
So he's contesting Lok Sabha.
He's contesting Lok Sabha from Guna. So yes, all these are happening, but at the moment, till I see with my own eyes and can verify, I'll still keep it very low, 4-5 seats. So, not much.
So overall, it is BJP or NDA, roughly it is from 50-60 seats down compared to last time.
So if you ask me, in the first 2 phases, BJP has already lost anything between 15 to 20 seats, and their allies have lost about 5 seats.
This is in around 190 seats.
190 seats so far. They are going down. BJP is going down by anything from 20 to 25 seats. BJP and allies. BJP by 15 to 20.
Actually, the wave is not in favorable.
That's right. So again, I would be conservative and I would say BJP is, N.D.A is losing at least 20 seats in this round, third round. It's very hard for BJP because they really have to win places. They have to sweep this round and they're unlikely to do so. So another 20 seats there. So by the middle of the election, BJP would have, BJP and N.D.A would have lost 40 seats. And if they, and the areas where they could have possibly gained are out. Now it's only losses, because all the areas where BJP tried to make gains have already polled.
So basically, earlier we were saying that BJP will not form the government, but N.D.A may form the government. But even now, even that looks like it's unlikely.
Let me be more clear. I never said BJP will not form the government. I kept saying in the run-up to the elections that it is possible to prevent BJP from reaching 272. And frankly, I thought opposition was not doing enough to do so. And I was very fidgety about it because, in my eyes, I can see it is possible to bring them below 272 for all the bluster of 400 plus. The reality is that they were 272 minus. They were certainly 300 minus. And I felt opposition was unable to really galvanize, give a sense of India coalition to the country. And there were many small disappointments of what the opposition could have done, did not do. So I was a little unsure. But once elections have started, something has happened. It is not the opposition. I don't think the opposition has done a great job.
But I just wanted to ask that, what is it? Because is it the price rise, corruption, electoral bonds, or what is it that is changing?
Two broad things have happened. Price rise and corruption and unemployment is a standard story. You get to hear it everywhere. But I think broadly speaking, I would say two things. One is normal politics is back. And normal politics is when Modi doesn't mean end of everything. In 2019, you ask any question and the answer was Modi, Modi, and it's finished. Now, people talk about MPs. Why did the fellow not come for 5 years? People talk of unemployment, they talk of corruption, they talk of local grievances, they talk of their livelihood needs. So, normal politics and caste equations. Normal politics is back, and the return of normal politics is bad news for BJP. Because they want the country to be in an artificial state of anxiety and exhilaration. Otherwise, BJP cannot win the election. So that artificiality has come down this time, which is also witnessed in the turnout. Turnout going down is a sign of normalcy returning.
But Karnataka, the turnout has remained same.
That's a good thing for Karnataka, because in Karnataka, a good thing from my point of view, which is to say that the ruling government, the ruling party and the things that they have done, they seem to be working all right. That's a rough indication, but we cannot be very sure. The second thing that happened, and that gave me if there's something that gave me solace in these dark times, it is traveling to Haryana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. In every place, one or two people would mention Tanashai. Which is a Hindi word for dictatorship.
Okay.
On their own. I would not prompt. I never prompt things. I just listen.
Are these people activists?
No. I don't speak to activists at all. That's my rule. Never speak to activists when you're doing this kind of election tour. But these are obviously not ordinary people. These are more vocal people in the village. Someone who watches television, someone who follows YouTube and so on, someone who may have seen Dhruv Rathi. But this also includes very ordinary people. This person in a village told me something very nice. I asked him, Modi ji ke 2 panchvarshiya ho gaye. That's the way they speak in UP. 2 5-year terms have been over, and he's asking for third. What do you think? He said, देखिए आप गांव में किसी को सरपंच बनाते हैं, प्रधान they call them in UP, प्रधान बनाते हैं पहली बार, तो वो डरा हुआ होता है, ठीक ठीक काम करता है. He's a little tentative. He works, he is scared and he wants to work. उसको आप दूसरी बार बना देते हैं तो वो आपको गोली देना शुरू कर देता है. He learns tricks of the trade and he is making money and so on. तीसरी बार बना देते हैं तो आपके सर पे चढ़ के आप पे डंडा चलाता है. This he said in the context of Modi wanting to get a third term. Now this is an ordinary person, he's not an activist or anything.
So you can always bet on the wisdom of the collective wisdom of the people.
Now while this is a muhavra and I'm sort of scared of these things, but I actually saw people talk about this. यार ये तो ठीक नहीं है, आपने opposition के लोगों को जेल में डाल दिया. Anyone who comes to your party is nice and everyone else is bad. You're using ED, you're using these things. This is not going down well in people. And that, Dr. Vasu, is my biggest takeaway. Election result is one thing. I think election is turning against the BJP. And if this trend continues, let alone BJP on its own getting a majority. Right now, we are looking at a scenario where I.N.D.I.A on its own may be struggling to get a majority, So that's of course a big thing.
Yeah,
but for me, even bigger is the fact that ordinary people talk about tanashai. That gives me hope because there's life after 2024.
Yes, that's true. It's not the end of the history.
That's right, end of history. And that if happened, that people thought this is not done. 70 years of democracy may not have given us bread and butter, may not have given us everything, but it has given us some sense of dignity, which people don't want to lose. That was great.
So, but I was putting it like this, that though there was talk about Modi wave, I was saying that there is a Modi consolidation that has happened. When we say Modi, RSS, Hindutva and all that, which has consolidated about 30 to 35% of the electoral rate. But just because of that only, there is 35% polarization on the other side also. It is not just Muslims, a significant part of Dalits and other oppressed communities, poor. So this is, when you say Modi is not just the strength of BJP, but also a liability in this sense. But I wanted to know your response on that.
Especially on the poor, again, traveling across these states and in Telangana, now in Karnataka, of course, Karnataka, I'm more of a political visit. It's the poor who are skeptical of the BJP. What we found in Karnataka is all over the country. It's the poor who are saying...
Those who can express their political will only during an election, but they don't have any space other than that.
That's right. And they are the ones who are saying, kuch nahi kiya, whatever. All of them may not talk about dictatorship, whatever. But the fact that their, livelihood issues are coming to the fore. Rural distress is coming to the fore. And all that means that it's really now tough work. For BJP wanted to win this election without presenting a report card. That they are not being allowed to. They wanted a walkover before the match begins. That they are not being allowed to. There is no walkover.
No, here in Karnataka, Mr. Modi tried to put his report card in a constituency. He did not actually went to other rhetoric. But it looked so dumb and the numbers were also like, people felt that it is false because it is like, I have given some 2 lakh houses to this constituency. I mean, the next day, the local minister says that not even a single house. Because, I mean, there are many other things to it, that is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, government gives some money and it takes back most of it in the form of GST. So, only 12,000 rupees is given by the central government. And state government here gives more than 2 lakhs and it is called Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So, but people were not ready to believe it.
That's right. So, the BJP's ploy that they can win this election without having to present a report card doesn't work. The ploy that Modi is enough is not working. And incidentally, no one spoke of Mandir on their own.
So in UP also?
In UP as well.
Because that was the scene in Karnataka when we did our survey, but UP I'm surprised.
No one spoke. And incidentally, it included people who had gone to the temple.
Okay.
All of them believe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
There's
a sense of closure probably.
Most Hindus believe it was a good thing. Modi ji ne acha kiya. But vote, no. That's not connected to this. So, on their own, they do not mention Mandir. You ask them, then they respond to Mandir. But that's so. The idea that Mandir would get them, would sweep the election is not happening. So now it's state to state, constituency to constituency, local issues, performance. That's me. In some cases, it favors the BJP, then they win. But when it doesn't favor the BJP, they do not have a trump card which would wipe out all these things. That wave is over. And that is great news for democracy.
Yeah, that probably you are calling that return of regular politics or normal politics. That is
normal
really
democratic politics. If the will of the people is expressed in the final outcome, that indeed would be return of democracy to the country.
Thank you, sir. It was actually great learning also and also heartening to listen to you that there is normal politics is returning in this country. We hope that we can catch up sometime later, maybe after 2 more rounds of election. And probably after the elections are over in Karnataka, you may not come to Karnataka.
Well, I would probably just to get a holiday. It's one of my most favorite parts of the country.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And that was Professor Yogendra Yadav, whom we hope will catch up with him again to tell our Karnataka and other viewers what is happening in India. And Professor Yogendra Yadav is the one who can actually bring the best insights into the elections and also what is there in people's mind. Thank you.
ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ವಿಶೇಷ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಲು ಮತ್ತು ಹೊಸ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಯಲು eedina.com ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಲ್ ಐಕಾನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.